2024 season is right around the corner as of this recording, and a lot of rides are celebrating some interesting milestones. Hello, everybody. Alongside Don Helbig, I'm Ryan Sir, and this is Tower Topics.
Tower Topics is a podcast by Kings Island fans for Kings Island fans because that's who we are and that's who we care about.
That's right. So we got some exciting things coming up, and it surely seems like the park is kind of in on the action too, because this is a little late breaking. But let's first talk about the different anniversaries. We'll just go down the list of some remarkable ones that are coming up. So, Don, I know this ride's very special to you. Not the racer, but
not the racer, but the beast. It celebrates its 45th anniversary this season. It's a ride that has withstood the test of time. You know, when it opened in 1979, it became the signature attraction at Kings Island. Going into 2024, I mean, there have been a lot of great new rides that have come and gone, you know, since the Beast, but it has always remained the park's signature attraction, still drawing guests from all over the world who come to Kings Island specifically to ride the Beast. Yeah, very excited to see what the park does to celebrate the 45th anniversary of this iconic coaster.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some really cool things. Like, I know that one year they gave out T-shirts for, I guess, the 40th anniversary.
40th, right.
And then, gosh, like I remember my first ever event, which I believe was Beast Buzz, run by Coaster Buzz. We're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Beast, so I feel old now. But yeah, 45 years. Beautiful ride, wonderful, and it seems like that the Beast seems like it hits a milestone every single year. But you know, being as iconic as it is, it's
and it's given nearly 60 million rides. So you know, again, it's one of those rides that you know, it's a favorite. You know, for just literally millions of guests. Like I mentioned, they come from all over the world just to ride it. There's nothing like a night ride on the Beast, and I'm excited to visit Kings Island this year and celebrate the coaster's 45th anniversary.
absolutely. Let's move along. So the next one is Soak City / Crocodile Dundee's Boomerang Bay / Boomerang Bay / Waterworks. Don, of all those names, which one do you like the best?
I like Boomerang Bay the best of all of them. I think it fits, you know, for what the water park has, you know, grown into become. Waterworks was kind of my second one. My second choice would have been that. But I remember when Waterworks debuted in 1989. You know, not nearly the size that it is today. It's one of the premier water parks, certainly, you know, in the region. But if you're talking about the whole, you know, theme park industry for seasonal parks, you know, it's right up there. You know, is it the best water park? No, but it's certainly in that top 10. And it's one of the best things about it. It's always been included with park admission to Kings Island. So 2 parks, 1 price. But it's something that if you have not experienced Soak City during a visit to Kings Island, you know, make plans, you know, certainly try to spend a little bit of time there. There's a lot of activities, you know, for guests of all ages. Some culinary experience has become really good out in Soak City. So a lot to see and do. I mean, you could spend a full day there. So definitely check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, my personal favorite, and I'm showing my age with this one yet again, is the Lazy River. Actually, I think that I don't remember what the name of it is now, because the Soak City rides have a tendency to change names a lot, but they called it like the Action River for a while. Remember when they redid it and they put in like just more powerful jets and stuff? It wasn't exactly like SeaWorld Aquatica, but it's still like it's really fun, and
it's a nice, fun, relaxing way, you know, just to kind of you know, spend some time out in the water park. I like Tropical Plunge. I think that is a thrilling experience. No matter how many times you would do it, you can never anticipate when that floor is going to drop. So that's a lot of fun. So, you know, if you're a thrill seeker, you know, you're just trying to catch a few rays. You want to go out and just have a, you know, a nice meal. I mean, Soak City is a place that you definitely have to visit during your, you know, visit at Kings Island.
Yeah, and it's funny because you on the surface you would always assume that Soak City is just loaded with season pass holders that have that as their public pool, but the reality is I can't tell you how many people buy an individual ticket and they spend most of the day at the water park. You
Yeah,
know,
they do.
so
It's the best way to beat the heat. Soak City Water Park.
yeah. So moving along in Vertigo, I feel like this is like a polarizing coaster. Because I know that some people are like, I can't ride it because it gives me headaches or whatever. I love in Vertigo.
I do too. Celebrating its 25th anniversary season this year, opening in 1999. I was one of the first riders attending Media Day that year. I enjoy it. The thing that keeps me from experiencing it every time I'm in the park as a guest is that it is a one train operation, so it doesn't take a lot of guests for that wait time to get up there. 35 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour. But it's a ride that if you haven't experienced it, you certainly have to do it. It's unique. It's fun to look at the person across from you when you're experiencing this attraction. It's fun, thrilling. Something that's fun to do with your friends and your family. So yeah, I've always enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, for me, it's one of a few coasters that I get off and I'm like, whoa, like dizzy and stuff. Like it really messes with me. And it's almost like, especially like even going down the first hill, like through the station. If I'm riding, I like to go forwards first, mainly because everybody I ride with always gets scared by like hanging and being like kind of your life's dependent on their restraint. But just that first part, and the way that it's manufactured, and I don't want to talk out of term here because I have no idea, but it's so loud and so many pieces shaking and stuff that it's so chaotic. It kind of reminds me of the final helix of the beast, honestly. But I just
Yeah.
love it. I think it's terribly underrated.
And that is a good tip that you mentioned, that if you have the option when you get into the station to pick where you want to sit, you definitely want to be facing forward to start the ride experience. It's much more thrilling, I think, when you start it that way and then you do the rest of it in reverse the other way. So that's the way I would recommend starting it out.
Do you gray out or black out on Invertigo at all?
No, not at all. I never have on any coasters. I know there's different ones out there in the industry that people will talk about at the bottom of the drop. They grade out, or on a Vertigo. I've heard a number of people mentioning that, but no, that's never happened to me.
So with Invertigo, it doesn't go far enough. But I will tell you that the helix at the end of Orion, if I'm sitting in certain seats and the sun's out a certain way and the moon is in the sky and I ate the wrong skyline chili, I'm not going to come back to the station limp, but I definitely like my vision starts to fade and stuff. So as somebody who enjoys this stuff, I really like that. If I was
Yeah,
anybody else, it'd be horrifying.
it exceeded my expectations the first time I rode it on the media day event. Um, Going, when you got pulled up the lift, I was in the front car of it, and that was kind of unique. You're going up and you're just kind of hanging there for a few seconds before it drops. But it's definitely a ride that when you just look at it, you might underestimate it. But like I said, it's fun, it's thrilling. It's a must-do attraction at Kings Island.
Yep. So friends, at tower_topics or in the comments of the YouTube video, yay or nay on Invertigo and why? Do you find it painful? Do you find it thrilling? Do you find it boring? I want to hear your opinion. Moving along. What do we have next? I can't believe Banshee is 10 years old. Can you?
It is hard to believe that Banshee is 10. It's been a fast 10 years. I still remember the announcement night, very well. Just that environment. Never seen anything like that for any kind of a ride announcement, whether it's been at Kings Island or another park. It was electrifying that night. But it's a ride that really complemented uh, the thrill ride lineup at Kings Island when they put this in.
Yeah. And it was funny because inverted coasters were so passe not that they were passe, like who would want that, but like nobody had installed one in a while.
Yeah,
Not
it
on
had
a
been a
large
while.
scale.
Yeah, but it's the world's longest steel inverted coaster. It's got some really cool elements to it. There's an elevation change
Hmm.
in the ride that makes it unique, different from other inverted coasters. Just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So we got what Kings Mills Antique Autos turned 5. I had to look up when this ride came out.
Yeah, 2019. So it's hard to believe it's already been 5 years for that. Kind of right at a wrong when the original antique car ride was removed after the 2004 season. So it was great to see this attraction come back. It's something that, guests of all ages can enjoy. For a lot of guests, it's their first ever time, behind the wheel. We've talked about that before. So there's that piece of it as well. So it's a ride that creates those memories that last a lifetime for families. And, it's just something that, again, everybody can do together.
I asked, our most previous episode as of this recording was, the antique autos, if that was your first drive, if any antique car at Kings Island was your first driving experience. And for a lot of people, it was. So
Yes.
I think that's kind of cool that people will always make that connection, because you never think about that. If I asked you when your first time driving was, you're almost always going to say, oh, when I was 16 or 15 or whatever, but not necessarily,
Right.
It's not always necessarily going to be at Kings Island. But when you think about it that way, as far as actually hitting the gas and the whatever,
Yeah, but
that's
like I
really
said,
cool that
5 years,
you can
but
make that.
yeah, 5 years that it's been there now, but now it kind of looks like it's always been at that part of Coney Mall,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I agree, because it fits in so well. So I think that's really cool. But the antique, you said that was your daughter Maria's one of her first time driving too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The original antique car ride there. It was a big deal, for her. Big deal for me, to see how excited she was to get behind the wheel. So just having that experience, I know what it means for guests. I can remember my first time ever, getting behind the wheel of the antique cars at Kings Island in 1972, and just how fun and thrilling that was. So that's a ride that, it's not the biggest, the tallest, the fastest, anything like that, but it's certainly a ride that, it's in the argument for, what attraction creates the most memories at Kings Island.
Absolutely, and slowly trying to get here, but we'd be remiss and wouldn't feel as old if we had skipped Diamondback, which is 15 years old. 15.
Yeah, that was my first bigger announcement when I was overseeing the PR at Kings Island, was introducing Diamondback in 2009. It was a fun, or 2008 was when it was announced, but 2009 when it debuted. Just a great, great ride. I think for a lot of guests, it's their favorite ride in the park.
Yes.
Uh, the airtime moments on that coaster, just phenomenal. Just you get off that ride and you want to get back in line and ride it again. It is hard to believe that it's 15 years old now,
Yeah.
but there's just a lot to like about this coaster. I mean, it's definitely tall enough,
Hmm.
fast enough, hitting 80 miles per hour, long enough. We talked about the airtime. It's got the splashdown ending. Visually, if you don't like coasters, but you just like taking photos around the park or just watching, guests have fun. I mean, that's a great ride for those that aren't riding to just watch. You get a great view of the first drop. You hear the screams, throughout Rivertown. It's just an awesome ride.
Yeah, one of my favorite ride experiences, and I've mentioned this a million times in the pod, but my favorite part is like if you ride it during Haunt when they have all the fog, when you go down that second hill. So you go up the lift hill, go down the first hill, and the first hill isn't the best hill. That's a rarity. But you go up and you go down the second hill, and the
Yeah, the
second
second
hill is
drop's the
just
better one. Yes.
insane. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, incredible night ride. It gets amplified during Haunt, you mentioned, with the fog. It's a tough decision, between the Beast and Diamondback. If you're trying to decide what do I want to do last at the end of the night for the night ride, I mean, it's hard to beat a Beast night ride. It really is. But you're
Mhm.
not going to go wrong if you choose Diamondback either.
I agree. So the park obviously recognizes this, and while we were recording a previous episode, they actually dropped a blog, and this is kind of exciting. They're actually going to be giving out 2024 ride playing cards. So the terms are, and this is as of from the Kings Island team and their blog, the Beast and Vertigo, Diamondback, and Banshee. This does not include obviously Soak City because it's not open yet, and Antique Autos was not included on the list, but April 20th, 2024. they're going to be giving away playing cards for random rides. So the first 750 riders of the Beast and Vertigo, Diamondback, and Banshee will receive a ride anniversary trading card pack. These 3,000 total packs available for there's a total of 3,000 packs available for giveaway. And they said like each ride will kind of have a different one, or whatever. But it looks like they're going to be doing this right when the park opens on opening day. So check out the Kings Island blog for more details on that. But that seems kind of exciting. Like I wouldn't mind having some ride trading cards. The Cedar Point has those pins. It's kind of fun to like buy the little pack because you're supposed to have like some like rarities and stuff. And I think that the trading card thing might be kind of neat to have, where they sell trading cards, but there are some rare ones. You have to buy the packs, and the packs are guaranteed to have one rare one. But I think they might be onto something with this. So I kind of like it.
I think it's a great idea. Love it. So hats off to whoever came up with this idea. I think it's brilliant. It's definitely going to help drive some attendance for fans of these 4 coasters that they're giving these trading cards away for. So you got a tough decision though. There's 750 of them for each of these rides, but you get to the park in the morning. Where do you want to go first, right? Which card's going to be the one you want to get, because you're probably not going to be able to get them all. Now you do have Diamondback and the Beast close together, so maybe you get off one right away and you can maybe get over to the other one in time, but not likely. So these are going to be rare. There's not, like I said, not a lot of them out there, just 750. So opening day, get to the park, get there early, pick which one of these coasters you want to do first, and be sure you're in possession of one of these cards, because like I said, they're rare.
Let's move on to the listener question. The listener question's from Barbara Schwab. She says, what would you like to see done with the old Tomb Raider building? You start.
As I look at the Tomb Raider building, I think it would be the perfect spot for a Vekoma madhouse.
Okay, good choice. I like that. I was trying to think outside the box, because everyone's their mind is gonna go to a wild mouse, so they'll think like Exterminator at Kennywood, and that's where my mind went to. But wouldn't it be cool to have like an indoor wooden coaster? So something that's like tightly compacted. I think like GCI or something. But just how loud it would be in there would add to the chaos. Maybe have even like cool theme lighting and stuff like that. But I think that would be neat, don't you?
Yeah, that could work.
I mean, and I'm banking on the fact that they're not going to make it a dark ride.
No. I think if there was going to be a different dark ride coming there, I think you've got the existing building where Boo Blasters is. You would probably do it there.
They're not going to have two. Well, I could see them. Didn't they do something in Canada and maybe Knott's where it's like it's a shoot 'em up thing, but it's a ride? I think it's gone now at either one or both of those parks, but that would be kind of cool there too. I'd love to have another indoor attraction, and the fact that they're removing them between that and Action Theater and so on is kind of a dumb choice, but yeah, I suppose that'll have its day. That building would be expensive to remove, let alone when it was installed. But it's sitting there prime, and it's huge, and it's used like 6 weeks a year for a haunt that's been there for a decade. So it's time. I'm with you on that, Barbara. But thanks for the listener question. That is a very good question. Hey, I'm Ryan Sir, along with Don Helbig, and this is Tower Topics.